What is going on, everybody? My name is Morgan. Yes, it's me, myself. How is everyone doing today? Because I am doing particularly well today. I'm just super excited for my vacation or holiday in Spain, and it's just making my days amazing. Anyway, let's get straight into today's video. And before it starts, a quick disclaimer. It is kind of subjective, even though I'm fighting for a fact. You can disagree with me, and it's totally fine. If you do, comment why. I want to know your guys' reasons. Thanks for clicking on the video, and let's let it begin.
I ain't got no chill.
So guys, the first reason we're going to kick it off with today is the fact that aim is universal if you're playing on the same platform, whereas game knowledge is semi-universal. So the way aim is universal, if you're playing on the same platform, for PC for example, you're playing on mouse and keyboard, your aim is going to stay almost the same if you try and get your sensitivity the same. For example, going from Overwatch to CSGO when I was new to PC, it was much easier than I expected because my aim stayed the same or got better even. Or if you're on controller and you get the bright sensitivity, it still works the same way. You'll still keep your skill with aim. That is something that will never decline unless you stop playing, or you try and change sensitivity, or you just stop playing that particular type of game. But of course, this might not come into effect for some games like racing games, but they're not really in the topic of today's video, because racing games, they always seem to change dynamics and physics, which yes, shooter games do change physics and dynamics, but less as much as racing games do. Also, racing games don't really come into aim like shooter games do, because shooter games almost revolve around aim and close quarters combat, long range combat, all types of combat. And racing games, I'm honestly too unaware of, to be honest, because I've never really been interested in racing games. Forza Horizon 2, I did play an absolute ton, but I was always trashing it. It was, let's just say it was a sight you did not want to see. Carrying on from what I said earlier about game knowledge being semi-universal, while it is kind of universal for perhaps game series like Call of Duty Zombies, which I'm a big fan of, some mechanics will stay the same and you will keep some of your skills that you've learned. For example, people like The Relaxing and Steve, many other people, countless people that I may idolise, well, they always manage to come out as the world record holders for certain rounds, etc. But that's because some games have that feature that your game knowledge will stay there and will kind of restore as you keep playing the game again. Anyway, straight on to the next point.
I ain't got no chill.
Coming in at the second point, guys, is the fact that aim makes you better at a game when you start playing it. So what I mean by that is, if you have good aim, that means that you'll already be in a higher skill class within a game. Whereas if you had bad game knowledge, but you were better at learning game knowledge, you'd start the game at the lowest rank. Do you really want to start at the lowest rank? No, you don't. No one does, because no one wants that label on themselves. That's demotivating. And what will happen then? It makes the game harder to learn for you if you're demotivated and down about it. Whereas if you do have the aim, it means that if you learn the game knowledge, perhaps a bit slower, you will manage to get into the top class of the game. Whereas game knowledge, or aim, takes a lot longer to learn. So people who learn the game knowledge, they will get halfway to the top, but then they will completely lack the aim, and they will not be able to keep getting better at the game. And that's just a big issue, because it's such a difficult thing to learn. It just takes time and practice. Whereas game knowledge, you can kind of just watch about for things like that, and it's much easier to learn. Or in most scenarios it is. Sometimes they're different, but it partly depends on how much time you dedicate to the game, and how much time you dedicate to watching the game and finding out more mechanics and features about the game. Anyway, short point, let's get straight on to the next one.
I ain't got no chill.
So guys, coming in at the third and final point, it kind of continues from the previous point. So, Because you have amazing aim but terrible game knowledge, you're still going to be put with a higher skill group, and while that does sound daunting, it does mean the fact that you can have more balanced challenging in the game if it has skilled based, or whether it doesn't have skilled based searching or matchmaking, because there's a less chance that people are going to absolutely dominate you. Like, it would be different if you had terrible aim and terrible game knowledge, because then everyone would trample on you and you'd be super demotivated, like I said. But because you're put with people who challenge you at the right amount, it means that you're going to be able to learn much faster. I once saw a lecture about if you play with people 5% better than you, the rate that you increase at something is phenomenal. You'll become so much better, so much quicker. And that's why a lot of people nowadays are so good at games, because they'll get the perfect challenging system. So that is the final point. While it was quite short, it also is quite helpful with this video, because you know what you need to focus on in games is aim. Aim is the most useful thing. And while you might not take that from me, because from what you've seen, I'm not the best at games, I can openly admit that I'm not the best at games. But you know how I got to my level? It was by practicing aim. Aim helped me so much. I was awful, and I'm still not the best, but I'm so much better because of aim. Aim is the key to games. Anyway guys, I really do appreciate you watching this video. I put a lot of time into it. It was my first gaming commentary, so it would be really helpful if you to leave a like, leave a comment saying you liked it, or if you want to question anything. Anyway guys, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.